Today we're going to talk about a huge economic story, one that's been quietly unfolding for about half a century now. It's this massive shift in who is, and maybe more importantly, who isn't working in America.
And look, this isn't something that just popped up overnight. As economists David Autor and Melanie Wasserman point out here, this has been a steady downward trend. We're talking about skills, employment, wages, the whole 9 yards. It's a really fundamental shift in our economy. And the scale of this, it's just staggering. Even before the pandemic threw a wrench in everything back in 2020, this was the number of prime working-age men who were completely out of the workforce. And let's be clear, that doesn't mean unemployed and looking for a job. It means entirely on the sidelines. So, who are these 9 million men? Let's peel back the layers on that number and really understand the story behind it.
Okay, first things first, it's super important to understand who we're talking about. Prime working age means men between 25 and 54. So these aren't college students or guys who are about to retire. We're talking about people in what should be their most productive, highest earning years.
Now, while this decline is happening across the board, it definitely hits certain groups way harder. Get this, a full 1 in 3 men with only a high school diploma are out of the workforce. And what's really surprising is that the biggest drop isn't among older men, it's the youngest group, guys aged 25 to 34.
You know, with a puzzle this big, simple explanations are always pretty tempting. And one of the most popular theories that gets thrown around to explain why so many young men are dropping out is, you guessed it, the rise of super sophisticated, immersive video games. I mean, it's an easy picture to paint, isn't it? Why would you go work a tough, low-wage job when you could be the hero of some amazing digital world? But does that popular story actually hold up when you look at the data?
So let's do that. Let's move past the anecdotes and just follow the numbers. What does an actual analysis of how people spend their time really tell us?
Well, time use data shows that, yeah, young men are gaming more. No big surprise there. But look at the numbers. The average doubled over a decade, sure, but it only went from 3 hours a week to 6. I mean, that's an increase, but it's hardly enough to explain a massive nationwide economic shift.
And here is the real kicker. An economist named Gray Kimbrough really dug into the data, and he found no direct link. Men who drop out of the workforce don't just suddenly start pouring all that new free time into video games. The correlation just isn't there. So the key takeaway here is that easy answers are often just wrong. The real story isn't about leisure time, it's about these huge, fundamental shifts in our economy. So if it's not video games, we've got to look at the bigger structural changes.
And one of the biggest changes is right here. For the last half-century, while the employment rate for prime-age men has been falling, the rate for prime-age women has been going up a lot. This whole gender dynamic is absolutely crucial to understanding the full picture.
And these two diverging trends, they become even clearer, even more obvious when we look at economic recessions, because those downturns often hit men and women very, very differently.
See, for a long time, most recessions have been what some economists call she-cessions. They tend to absolutely hammer male-dominated industries like construction and manufacturing. So male employment drops sharply, while female employment is often barely affected. That was the pattern for decades.
But the 2020 recession completely flipped the script. It was a she-cession. Female employment fell by a whopping 16%, compared to 13% for men. And a huge reason for that was because service industries and school closures pushed a ton of women out of the workforce to take care of their kids.
And because this downturn was caused by a public health crisis, it just behaved differently. It was incredibly sharp, but it was also incredibly short. I mean, the recession officially only lasted 2 months. And by October of 2021, that gender gap it created in the workforce had already closed back up.
And right in the middle of all that disruption, there was some pretty unexpected news. The proportion of female senior executives actually went up in 2020, hitting a new high of 24%. It just goes to show how complex the story of women in the workforce really is.
So all of this brings us to the big question. The 2020 she-cession was a huge, dramatic event, no doubt. But when you put it up against the backdrop of a 50-year decline for men and a 50-year rise for women, was it just a blip? Or was it actually a sign that these massive half-century-long trends in our economy are even more powerful than any single crisis? You know, the answer to that is going to shape the American workforce for decades to come.